So, one of the things that fan created props, especially badges, have in common are the fact that they use magnetic clasps instead of pins. The badges I make use them, lots of them that you'll find on Etsy and other sites will use them as well. And what happens when your magnet comes out of your badge? Because it is probably bound to happen. The more you pull them on or pull them apart and attach them to an article of clothing, you run the risk of that super glue separating. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to fix that. And when you're finished, your badge will be as good as new. Okay, so we have the back, we have the badge, and we have the magnet. The first thing we need to do is we need to clean the glue off the magnet. So I'm going to take a piece of sandpaper. This is 220 grit. And I'm just going to sand the magnet where the glue was. That's going to do a couple of things. It's going to get the old super glue off, which means new super glue is going to adhere a little better. And also, if you get some coarseness into that surface, the glue is going to adhere better. So glue is going to adhere if it can get into some creases and some cracks and some grooves and things like that. So we're trying to create that there. I also have a file. Maybe if we, there we go. I've got a file, and we're also going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the badge now. And this is the bottom magnet. So I'm going to put the magnet on the badge, which then should fit all the way back in where it should go, right? So, and this is the key. When we're putting the magnets back in, we always want to stick the magnet where it needs to be on the opposite piece. So if the magnet came out of the back, put the magnet on the badge, and it does a couple of things. It helps you get the polarity correct, because if you put the magnet in the wrong way, it's not going to work. And also, this helps create, you know, very flush lines. So you've got that. Now, if you do it by hand and you just push the magnet back in here and you hold it, there's a chance you don't get that magnet in there straight. So that will be a problem when you go to put the badge back together. So I have a file, which isn't necessary, but it does help kind of just roughen up the face of that magnet for us. And I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to come in with this file, and I'm going to hit the hole that this magnet was in. Because once again, if we can create a coarse, imperfect place for it to go, that's going to help. Another thing you can do is you can take a utility knife, you put this down, and you just make some very small cuts in there. And what you're doing is you're basically making channels for the super glue to get in. And when I say super glue, I use just your standard Gorilla super glue. So it is, you know, $6 or so for a bottle. It's not bad. Now, we're ready to put this thing back together. We've got the old super glue scratched off both surfaces. We've created some new imperfections and grooves for that glue to grab a hold of. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the back, and we are going to there's a bubble there. We don't want a bubble. we're just going to put a little drop in there. We don't want to put too much. Just about like that. Okay, so that's there. We take this, we pop it back in together. Now we hold that. Just hold it for about 10 or so seconds. While we're at it, we can put the cap back in our glue. Make sure our X-Acto or our utility knife blade is retracted. And we're just going to hold that, give the glue a chance to really kind of spread around and get into some of those grooves and creases that we've created. And then, after you've done that for about 10 seconds or so, you set the badge down, and I would let it sit for at least 12 to 15 hours. So if it's 8 o'clock at night, I would just let it there, walk away, and come back to it in the morning and see how it's doing. And that's really all this is. So you can do this with any of the magnetized badges. The badges I create, they all have the holes in the bottom. It doesn't matter necessarily which badge it is. It also does work with the rank pips too. So if you have a magnet come out, you can slide that right back in there. These are all designed to fit magnets. So the badges all use an 8mm by 2mm magnet, which is right here. So you can kind of see that. And then the rank pips, if you have those, use a 6mm by 2mm magnet. So if you've lost the magnet somewhere, those are what you will need to get your badge repaired. Now, I don't expect you to remember that, so I will put links as well as that specific information in the video description. So you can pop over to Amazon and get, 25 magnets for $3.99 or something like that. So anyway, that is how you repair a loose magnet from a badge. Hopefully this is helpful. Please reach out if you have questions or comments. You can leave a comment on this video. You can also find me on Twitter at WonderCrisp. That's WonderKrisp. Thank you for checking out the video. I hope this helps you do a little bit of DIY maintenance on your props that may utilize magnets, because it could apply not only to these badges, it could also apply to any other, pieces of cosplay that you own, from magnetic clasps and closures on armor or other wearable items. So I think it's a valuable skill to have regardless. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out. Thank you for watching. I invite you to please click the thumbs up. Please like the video. That does help with the YouTube algorithms. I also invite you to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that when I post new content, you get notified. Thank you very much for watching.